Welcome back to ATM10 Lite. Today, we're going to put our villagers to work, setting up easy villagers for trades, for pearls, emeralds, and early enchants. And while we're doing that, we're also going to get some temporary storage online because, well, these chests just aren't cutting it. So, in between episodes, I did a little bit more decorating and building, and kind of built out our bottom here. The only thing I haven't done yet is I haven't made a doorway to the bottom, which something that we can just kind of leave like this for now, but we got a nice little basement here. I still have to replace the floor. But I made our mining tunnel a little bigger, gave it its own little area. That way we can go down, and I also dug all the way down to -58. Bedrock is like 2 blocks below here, and then just dug out to the side here to see what we have. And, you know, figured we could start strip mining. I haven't mined any of this yet because we don't have fortune and we don't need any of it right this second. So obviously if we need it, we can come down and grab it, but I'd rather wait till we have some fortune to start picking that up. And of course, while I was doing all of that, I had this over here chunk loaded and just taking some materials and slowly smelting everything down. So it's been a really long time since I've had to use villagers for traders. Haven't really had a purpose to use them in other packs because we haven't needed them. We've been able to get everything else we want through many other options. And as you can see, we have a ton of villagers. So we kind of have 3 blocks that we're going to look at here. We have the trader block, which is the main one that we're going to be doing, and that's just some iron, some glass panes, and some redstone. We have a farmer that we can set up to auto harvest crops for us, which will be nice for some of our other crops since I'm kind of already tired of having to go out there and harvest everything ourselves. And then the last one is called a converter. And I believe this will take zombie villagers and convert them back to regular villagers, which I think gives you a trade bonus. I'm not 100% sure. We don't have any mossy cobblestone just yet to be able to do this anyway, but we're going to keep this in mind for later on because I believe it gives us better trades if we convert. I don't know. Like I said, it's been a very long time since I've used easy villagers, so I'm not too worried about it. So first things first, let's make a couple of these traders. And we're going to go ahead and set them up down here. And now, if you're like me and you haven't really used village traders in a pretty long time, you can find this village traders in the just enough resources section. All you do is click on emeralds here, go to the second page, and it's right here. And this will tell you the different villager jobs that you need to trade for emeralds. And the best one, which pretty much everybody knows, even me who I haven't used much, is going to be the Fletcher for some sticks. You can trade sticks for an emerald. So we're going to make sure to do one of these as a Fletcher and see if we can get some good trades. Alright, so let's make our fletching table. I think it's this. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and make a lectern and a brewing stand as well. I think we already have a brewing stand. We do. And then we're going to get our lectern. So now that we have our 3 different jobs, we can just go ahead and place those in each of the traders. And then we can just take some villagers and start seeing what trades they offer. And right away, we've got the stick trade. But you can hit this cycle trade button, and we'll go ahead and do it. And you can just keep cycling this until you find something that you like. But we'll go ahead and just stick with this one here. And as you can see, it is 32 sticks for 1 emerald. And then here we have the cleric, and this is where we're going to get our ender pearls. So I don't think we can do anything yet to cycle through to get ender pearls. I think that's a later trade. So we're going to have to just level this up and hope that we get ender pearl. And if we don't, we're going to have to keep recycling. And then this top one here, the librarian, we're looking for fortune. We really need a fortune trade. Ooh, and this one gives us the chainsaw, which would be really nice, but we have ulti-mine, so we don't need it. Oh, we just got silk touch. We're going to keep this one, and we're going to just make another librarian. And then while we're down here, we are going to just make a bunch of sticks and just out trade this. That way we can level it up and start the cooldown again. But now that we have some emeralds, we can start trying to find our fortune. Oh, and now this one has Boon of the Earth 5. We're gonna need to use that one as well. Those are some pretty good enchants. Especially for this mod pack, having Boon of the Earth is really nice. But we can always find it again. And there we go. Finally found Fortune, and it's only 18 emeralds with 1 book to get Fortune. So we're gonna need more emeralds. And I think as long as we don't re-roll these stay locked here. I mean, I may be wrong. These may change on me and I may have to cycle through again, but that's fine. So let's go ahead and get more of our emeralds here. And that means we're going to need way more sticks. But then let's go ahead and start doing this trade to see if we can get a ender pearl. Because that ender pearl should show up at level 4. So we're just going to need to keep leveling this up. There we go. 5 emeralds for 1 ender pearl. It's not great, but it's something at least. And having ender pearls unlocked, even with them being kind of expensive, allows us to just start doing a ton of different things. We have the option of, item collectors, elevators, which will be really nice, which means now that we can get elevators, we can probably start putting our windmills up in the sky. It's going to open up some stuff for applied energistics and just everything. I mean, ender pearls are used in a ton of different recipes. And looking at this pack, one of the things that I thought was going to be the most interesting is just automating lumber. Because for most other packs, you have plenty of different options. Like bonsai pots or mystical agriculture, or even bees you can get lumber through, or so many different things, where in this pack there's not a ton that you can use to automate logs. I think industrial foregoing is going to be a really big thing for this pack. I think you're going to have to rely on it quite a bit, which is fine. I've always enjoyed it. In other packs, it doesn't really ever seem like it's that great. You end up using a lot of industrial foregoing, but not as much as that's available there, where this one feels like you're gonna kind of have to use it. So about a full in-game day, and I got some more logs, so let's go get some more emeralds. So now that we have our trader set up, one of the other things I wanted to do, and just do it kind of quickly, is I want to set up some functional storage drawers. Functional storage is something that I've always really enjoyed using. It's a great way to organize all of your inventory and just kind of make it nice. And it integrates really well with applied energistics, so it makes it even easier. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to make some drawers so we can start putting stuff down here. And yeah, for now, if we want to access them, we have to come down here to pull them out. But eventually we'll be able to link that up, and this will just kind of be a storage room. You've got a couple different drawers to pick from. You have your 1x1 drawers, which are fantastic for bulk items, right? If you want just a ton of stone, you can put them in this drawer. So for example, we have our oak planks, and we can put our oak planks in there, and it can hold up to 2,000 of that single item without any upgrades. If you click on the edge here, you can increase upgrades here, as well as some utility like pull and push or void upgrades. So if it goes over 2,000, it will start voiding everything else that's in there. And then if you shift left click, you can take a stack out at a time, or if you shift right click, well, you put it in there and then you shift right click, it'll put everything in your inventory that belongs in there into it. So we're going to set up a couple of the 1x1 drawers for some of our bulkier items. And then we're going to set up some of the 2x2 drawers for some of our lower count items. Things like ores can go in here. And the nice part about this too is when you craft it, you get 4 of them instead of 1. So you can start filling them up. So for example, emeralds, we're just going to place them right there. So now that means we're going to be able to store all of our cobbled deep slate and our cobblestone inside some of these drawers to just kind of open up some space. And there we go. We're not going to bother putting any of our ores into this yet because we don't have it connected to a system, and just having to come down here for all of our resources at the moment is kind of suboptimal. But I just wanted to show these off because we will be using these a ton later on. So since we have a ton of osmium being made, one of the things that I would like to do is just make some osmium gear, because we don't really have any gear going on. And osmium gear is pretty strong. It's pretty close to diamond gear if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's actually stronger than diamond gear. You get more armor toughness from it, and you get knockback resist. So yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely worth running. So now we're heading down our mine because we need some obsidian. And we need obsidian because we need to go to the nether and grab some nether quartz. So we're going to go ahead and figure out how to get back down here because I built some steps over all of this. I think if we just run and jump, nope, we land here, but that's fine. But we have a ton of obsidian here because, well, when I was opening this up, some of the water ran down and poured right on top. So can I use, no, you can't use a osmium pickaxe to get obsidian, unfortunately. And we burned it all. So I'm going to have to go grab a tank full of water. Or actually, perfect. I have a bucket. We can just grab this. And let's go ahead and turn this all to obsidian. Got it. So we now have a full stack of obsidian, so let's head back home. And we've got to figure out where we want to put our nether portal. But before we do that, we need to make some flint and steel. And maybe another diamond pickaxe. So we just have a nice basic portal set up here for obsidian, and we'll decorate this later. But for now, works. Let's head on in. And we are in the nether, and our spawn is, well, our spawn's kind of crap, but we'll make it work. So we're definitely going to want some of this glowstone. But we need nether quartz, and yeah, we're in the basalt delta. Ooh, okay. We definitely could have had a better spawn. It is a cool looking biome, but it's not a very useful biome. But at least we don't have to worry about running out of basalt anytime soon. And we've got some blackstone, so that's nice. Just want to make sure that we don't step into the lava. So I guess let's head this way. And hopefully we don't run into any lava here. So we just need to find some quartz. There we go. Got our first 3 quartz, but we're gonna need a lot more than that. Hey, quartz. Perfect. And I don't have any gold on, so that could be a slight problem. There we go. Easy enough. Hey, buddy. 33 quartz isn't too bad, but let's see if we can get some more. Well, there's a ton up there. That requires us to build all the way to the top. You know what? Let's keep digging through, see if we can find anything. Nether osmium? Sure. You know what? I think 61 Nether Quartz is probably good enough for what we need. We'll grab this last little bit right here. And maybe that. Now we'll just grab this one and head back home. Perfect. The reason we wanted those quartz is so that way we could make the block of quartz to make the storage controller through functional storage. So we're going to need 2 drawers, the redstone comparator, some stone, our blocks of quartz, and we can make a storage controller. And then we're also going to want to make a configuration tool and a linking tool. So we're going to need 2 more drawers, some paper, and some gold. Then we're going to want to make 2 more blocks of quartz as well so we can make a controller access point. And then let's go grab our emerald, our diamond, and our gold. Now our configuration tool and our linking tool, which we're going to need some more paper for. There we go. What do you have for us? Some packed ice. That's actually not too bad. You are actually kind of useful. Let's let's go grab some emeralds real quick, because we could absolutely use some of that packed ice. The question is how many packed ice can we buy from him? Because we're gonna need 9 packed ice. 6. I need 3 more, dude. I guess it's fine. I probably shouldn't have spent all those emeralds on that, but it's fine. It'll do for now. Okay, so now that we have our controller access point, our configuration tool, our linking tool, and our storage controller, what we're going to want to do is set all of this up. So we're going to want to put our storage controller right here. And you can really put this anywhere because you have these tools here to link everything. But we have our linking tool. So if we right click on our storage controller, you see this green box. And this is the range that it works at. Now, as it stands, our mechanism area is a bit too far away for this to work. But we could set that up so everything that's being smelted there is sent to our drawers, which is going to be the goal to do that. But for now, this kind of will work until we can afford the upgrades to increase the range on this. But now that we have the linking tool, we can then click on all of these different drawers that we have, and they're all linked to the storage controller now. And then what you also want to do is use your configuration tool to lock them. And if you don't have anything locked, you can actually just use it right on your storage controller and it'll lock it all. But you want to lock it so that way when you do try to put things into the storage controller, it's not going to just put it in random drawers. So actually, we're going to move this. And what we're going to do for now is we're going to move this over towards our mechanism area because we just can't afford the upgrades at the moment to make it so the range is all the way over here, but we will be able to move that eventually. So we'll leave those down here, and then let's head over here because eventually this is going to be inside a building anyway. We just haven't had that built yet. We're going to put it right here. So our storage controller's here, and then we're going to take our 4 oak drawers. We're going to place 2 on either side. And then let's go ahead and link these all. And as you can see, this comes right to the edge here. So we're going to get rid of this barrel. And before we do that, let's take everything that we have inside this barrel and let's give it somewhere to live. We've got osmium. We actually have so much osmium that we're going to need to give this a second place to live. And once again, I'm going to change it up a bit. I think we need to make some compacting drawers. So we're going to do that. So we're going to put a compacting drawer right here. And then we're going to put our osmium in this, and that'll hold 4.6 thousand osmium, but it also breaks it into blocks. So if you need a single ingot, you can just pull it out. And if you need a single block, you can pull it out, or you can just right click to push it all back in. And then we're going to do the same thing with our other compacting drawer, but this one does 3. We're going to do iron. So now we have nuggets, iron ingots, and iron blocks. And it's 512 iron blocks and 512 osmium blocks, instead of just having the 512 for a single. So it just ultimately gives you a little more storage for everything and allows you to access the different types of blocks. And we are still going to have a 4x4 drawer here. So that way we can put some of the odds and ends in, something like uranium ore, some platinum, zinc, and steel. And then we're going to do the same thing with copper here for copper blocks. And then we're just going to go through and just do this for all of our different ores. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up a basic logistical transporter with the controller access point directly on top. We're going to link that to our system. We actually have to replace this transporter. And then we just set that to pool. And anything that goes into this barrel that has a spot over here is going to get pushed into this controller access point, which is linked to our storage control point. And it's going to start filling up over here. You can see the uranium filling up right now. And that's just going to allow us to organize all of our ores and eventually link this to our applied energistic system once we have that set up and running. So all of this storage is counted towards our total storage, and we can just access it all from that terminal. So that's where we're going to end today's episode. It was a pretty simple one, but it was vital for what we need moving forward. Now we have ender pearls, and we have emeralds, and we have a couple good enchants. Next step is just increasing our overall production of resources. So that way we can start moving into the all the mods star. And to do that, we need to get to the mining dimensions so we can start getting a ton of ore going. And once we have that set up, we can get better power and we can upgrade all of our mechanism machines to run faster and more efficient so we can get 6 times ore instead of 3. And to do all that, we got to go to the deep dark. So that is what we will be doing next episode, is going to find our first allthemodium. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Later.